Absolutely fantastic episode of TNA Impact wrapped up not too long ago. Started the show off with Leon Slater versus Trent Seven. And going into this show, I wasn't interested in most of these matches on the card. Thought it'd just be another average show. But it was surprisingly actually one of the best shows I've seen in the last 2 months, probably. Especially for a weekly television show. And then Frank Azarian, he came out there, he was on commentary since he got a match against Leon Slater at TNA Genesis. And it was funny. He was like, and he did a great job on commentary. So whenever he retires from being a wrestler, I think he'd be great on commentary. He was like, what happened to Trent 1 through 6? They just disappear or they went missing. And that was a funny line from him. And then the match that Leon Slater and Trent Seven put on, that was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It was a great way to start the show off. Uh, it started off kind of slow, but then eventually Leon Slater ended up getting the win. He kicked out of a Birminghamer, but so okay. And then Leon Slater, he can sell. So shout out to him. He ended up getting the win. You had to had Ash and Heather by Elegance doing a pre-launch celebration for their championship that they haven't won yet and probably won't win against Spitfire, who ended up interrupting it. It was basically cardboard copies of them with the Knockouts tag titles, and they hadn't won it yet, so it was a pre-planned celebration. And if they don't win, this is gonna make that segment even more funnier. First Class had a match against Eric Young and Steve Macklin. This was a really good match too. Like I said, all the matches were good on tonight's show. Uh, Eric Young and Steve Macklin ended up getting the win, and really what caused First Class was that they got into it with some actor that was there in the crowd, so that was interesting. Masha Slamovich and Rosemary had one of the most demonic promo segments I've seen. I was very creeped out, to say the least. But yeah, I think their match with Genesis would be pretty good. I do think it'll be a good match. Then you had the Northern Armory. They had showed that them attacking Mike Santana at an indie event and trying to take him out. And then the Northern Armory came out there. Josh Alexander, he was hyping up how they took out Mike Santana, how he wouldn't be able to make it. Then Mike Santana interrupted and he was like, I'm ready to go. And matter of fact, I want an I Quit match. So just add the stakes to it even more. And it's obviously going to be a 3-on-1. And Mike Santana will probably find a way to win. But this has been an interesting feud. This has been great. You had Laredo Kid versus Jake Something, which the fact that his last name is just Something is amazing. It was a pretty basic match. It was a squash match, really. Jake Something hit a Something bomb, and he ended up getting the win. It was a cool match. It put Jake Something out there more, so it made sense. Ace Austin had a very heartfelt promo. Obviously, his tag partner Chris Bay is going to be out for a undisclosed amount of time, so he's targeting the Moose. He wants that X Division Championship. The promo was really great. I enjoyed it. And then you had the main event match was PCO and Sammy Callahan versus the Hardy Boys. Sammy Callahan, Jeff Hardy, they started the match off, and then Sammy Callahan and PCO won the match. They'll be added to the match again with the Hardys and the Rascals at TNA Genesis, but they didn't end up getting the win. Matt was isolated for a little bit, but he was able to get the tag after he hit a double DDT. That was a cool spot in the match. Then the Hardys, they hit multiple twists of face and Jeff hit a swanton bomb for them to end up getting the win. It was the point where PCO and Callahan hit each other on accident, but the Hardys got the win. The match still gonna be just them and the Rascals. Then you got the last segment, or what was you had Jordan Grace coming out there and she's heated. Like she signed the contract, left them on the commentator's table. Then we'll get back to that in a second. Then you had Joe Hendry and Nick Nemeth, they cut a promo. Then Ryan Nemeth came out there, things got a little weird, and they both ended up taking out Joe Hendry. Don't know if Nick meant to, but Joe did put his hands on Ryan. So the dynamic of Ryan still being in there is so weird, because like when I do give my predictions, I don't know who I'm picking to win that match, because Ryan Nemeth is definitely going to play a part in that match. But then to end the show, Tessa Blanchard, she signed the contract. Then Jordan Grace, she came out there, she attacked her. The match is on for Genesis, but this feud has been great. I gave the show a 9 out of 10. The only problem I had is that there wasn't a singles women's match. Like obviously they had 3 great segments that I really enjoyed, but it should have been at least one women's match. and it would have been a 10 out of 10 probably if it was a good match. But all the segments made a lot of sense, made sense for the stories. For a weekly TV show, it was a lot of great in-ring work. So I really enjoyed tonight's TNA Impact. Make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Peace.